Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contract, service is month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to the episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Dennis Doran on the line, and he is Forum Chair over at McKay CEO Forums, and he's also author of Soft as Steel, Leadership Qualities to Grow Relationships and Succeed in Business and Life. Dennis, welcome to the show.
Adam, thanks very much for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh, man. So I'm excited about today's topic. We're going to get into your book, again, Soft as Steel, Leadership Qualities to Grow Relationships and Succeed in Business and Life. But before we do that, let's go a little bit further into what you're doing as Forum Chair over at McKay CEO Forums. I think what you're doing with the organization is really interesting. I'm excited to bring it to my audience. So tell us a little bit more about McKay CEO Forums, please.
Sure, glad to. McKay CEO Forums is a company actually headquartered in Canada. I'm pleased to have joined them recently it was referred to as a forum chair for their first U.S. group. They basically are a peer learning organization for CEOs and top executives. Been very successful in Canada, founded 15 years ago by its namesake, Nancy McKay. And they reached out to me first. They asked me to come and speak to some of their groups. And then the conversation turned into a discussion about the opportunity for me to form a group that I chair, which basically means I meet on a regular basis virtually with a group of CEOs, and they talk about business issues, personal issues, and really try to help one another grow and develop. My job is to facilitate their conversations, help them produce great results that improve them as leaders, because one of the things that Nancy likes to say is that being at the top of an organization is a very lonely place. So this is a place where folks don't have to be as lonely. I'm very excited. It's a brand new venture for me. Compliments to the things that I've done for many years. I'm very excited to join them and excited about the future association.
Man, that is exciting. And you know, there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs. There's a lot of CEOs listening to this show, different markets. I know you said it's in Canada, so I'm guessing this organization is worldwide. I mean, what's the right type of, because at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave a website or wherever if people want to learn more. What's the right type of CEO that's typically a good fit to work with the forum?
Well, actually, they have McKay has a very set criteria in terms of for private sector organizations. The criteria is expressed in dollars in revenue or sales.
All right. So, Dennis, at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave, information and stuff like that, so the website or otherwise, so that CEOs and people listening can connect. What's the right type of CEO that's typically a good fit to work with the forum?
Yeah, McKay again has a very good structure and formula for this. They base the criteria for admission into a group based on the revenue or sales of the participating CEOs. So they target primarily larger concerns that have sales in excess of $10 million. They also have forums for organizations that have smaller levels of sales. They have a forum that's targeted at family businesses. So they have a series of structures, and again, the basic criteria is revenue or sales. It's the easiest way to accomplish it. It's a multi-industry group. Every group has a representative from different industries. They're generally geographically concentrated, at least up to this point. They have now converted into being virtual for new groups that are forming currently, as is the case with my new venture. And so that group will operate virtually. And my members are from the Eastern, Western, and Central United States.
Wow, that's exciting. What I love about the model is that there's something there for everybody. So I see different levels of business, different experiences, so that everybody can benefit. So I think it's a great model. And I wanna let's switch it up a bit, Dennis. I want to get into this book. So Soft as Steel. I mean, congrats first on the new book. I mean, what was the inspiration for this?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll tell you the short version of the journey that led to this book is that I've been in the construction industry specifically. A lot of my work has been there over the last 30 plus years. One of the things I've noticed continuously and more significantly as I've gotten older in the industry is that the construction industry, not unlike any other industry, does not value the notion that in order to be successful in business and life, it's not simply about the fact that you can do the job, that you can do a menial task, that you can do a very high-level task, that you can do, that can do budgeting, that you're a prolific writer. What's also important, and in fact, at the end of the day, more important, particularly as one grows into leadership, is their ability to start, build, and maintain relationships with other people. And it really is addressing the issue of their qualities or their attributes, which are generally referred to as soft skills. So I kept observing this, I kept noticing, and I finally said, you know what, I need to talk about this in a format that I hope will educate, inform, and motivate people to understand that in order to be successful, you need to be good at being a good person, to do business with, to be in a relationship with. So soft skills are what it's all about. The title to the book is very specific and connects me to my mentor in the leadership world, a gentleman by the name of Steve Farber, who's written many best-selling books on leadership. Most recently, he wrote a book that I love the title of. It's called Love is Just Damn Good Business. And Steve helped me to see that I had a message, gave me some thoughts about how to pursue sending the message through the form of a book. And he finally simply charged me one day and said, write the book, which I then began to do. The title of the book, again, is because the primary audience initially for the book is the construction industry. So the notion of soft as steel, immediately, for anybody in the construction industry, they immediately get the title. They like the title. They gravitate towards it. But interestingly, everybody's liked the title. Because
it's an awesome title.
Yeah, and it's thank you very much. Now, again, the title is great. Unfortunately, I put my picture on the front of the book, but we won't talk about that in detail. But anyway, so that so the inspiration was seeing a need over a long period of time. I'm passionate about it. I believe that it's the most important thing in business and in life is how you are as a person with the people you do business with or live with in your community. So that's the inspiration.
So I love the way the book's laid out. So it's really straightforward. So five different parts, which we're not going to have time to go through all this in one interview. And if we did, by the way, for everybody listening, we wouldn't. Why? Because I like helping authors sell books. So this was so easy to find. Go on Amazon. I typed in Soft as Steel. It comes right up. Or Soft as Steel Dennis. I mean, it just comes right up. So I definitely encourage everybody to go out there and pick up a copy. But it's laid out really nicely in 5 different parts. So part 1, building your foundation. Part 2, the most frequently mentioned soft skills. Part 3, nuts, bolts, and some great thoughts. Part 4, do it yourself. Part 5, recommended reading and other resources. So it's really straightforward there. I do want to hone in on one of these. So let's talk a little bit about, tell us a little bit more about part 2, the most frequently mentioned soft skills.
Yeah. So the way I developed the content for the book was I identified about 46 or 47 individuals from across the construction, engineering, and architecture industries. I surveyed them and I asked them to force rank a list of 40 words that describe a quality, an attribute, a soft skill of a person, to come up with their top 12. And then I aggregated all the results of that survey work and came up with the top 20 based on that survey work. And then I interviewed all those individuals, asked them a series of questions. As an example, one of the questions I asked was, if somebody asked you what soft skills are, what would you say? All these interviews were recorded and transcribed, and I drew from them and put in quotation marks the answers that I got. That's how I built portions of the book. And in the area of the 20 most frequently mentioned, I asked them in my interview, so tell me, what does the quality trustworthy mean to you? And then they would explain it to me. I said, I don't want you to define it. I want you to tell me what it means to you. And if you can, tell me a story that illustrates how that quality was important to you in a particular situation. So this book is very much, there are a lot of my thoughts in it, but it's the result of some survey work, some interviewing, and then in the book, what you'll find is a lot of the content of the book, and in particular, a part that you've asked for more drilling on. In that part, there's quoted content from these interviews. So I took their exact words and put them in the book. And the only way that those quotes are attributed is by the generation of the person who shared the thoughts. So as you go through and read the book, you can see, well, this is what the millennial said about what soft skills are. Here's what a baby boomer said. And so that's, otherwise, the quotes are all anonymous, because I wanted them to be able to talk freely. Not that I was concerned about controversy, but, but frankly, it just made it easier for them to talk. So the book contains that. And that's what part 2 is all about. It's an important and valuable piece of it. And the way the book is structured, which you can get a hint of as you talk through the contents. In the first part of the book, I asked them to do a survey. The reader in the book. There's a survey in the book. And when they get to and there's a couple of places where I ask them to pause from their reading and write down an answer to a question. And then part 4, where it's called Do It Yourself, I have 3 assessments for them to take and get the results. So there's an example, something which is referred to as the DISC profile, the DISC profile, widely used in industries. It's a behavioral assessment. I have a short form of that in the book. I asked them to take it. I asked them to take a look at what it tells them and to use that in building their own personal development plan, which is the last part of the book in terms of instruction. So it's not just a reading book, it's a doing book, because I think you learn more by doing. And as I'm now in the process of recording the book into an audio format, I've extracted all those activities and put it into a separate workbook, which will be a downloadable PDF that will accompany the audio book when an individual purchases the audio book. So that's my book.
Oh man, I love it. It's a great idea. It's a great concept, and I love the way you came up with with the content itself. It's a collaborative effort. Those are my favorite types of book, because I just feel like a lot comes out of just even the process for the people that participate, not just the reader. So I think that's an awesome story, Dennis. So that being said, if somebody is listening to this and they want more information on McKay CEO forums, or they want to learn more about the book, or just connect with you and your team overall and learn more about your product, I mean, Dennis, what's the best way for people to do that?
The easiest way is my personal email, and that's my name, Dennis D. Doran. So it's DENNISD DORAN @gmail, and that'll get them directly to me for whatever conversation, whatever thing I can do to help them. That's the easiest way to connect with me, and I'll take them in all the directions that are necessary from that initial contact, and be delighted to do so.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background, all the great things you're doing at McKay CEO Forums, and also, of course, congrats again on the book. Everybody listening, go grab a copy. That's so easy to find. Soft as Steel, Leadership Qualities to Grow Relationships and Succeed in Business and Life. So, again, go pick up a copy of that. And if this is your first time listening to the show, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you back as a return listener. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, definitely leave us some comments on that. Mission Matters Business. Love to continue the conversation over in the YouTube community. And Dennis, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Adam. Have a really great day.